The car rolled away from Faye's house as I rested my head against the window, her face still flashing in my mind when I said I wanted to marry her. She laughed like I was insane. Maybe I am Marcus, my assistant. Cleared his throat from the driver's seat. Boss, can I ask you something? I didn't respond right away. I just stared out at the streetlights blurring past. Finally, I said, go on. Why her? He asked. Of all the women out there, why Faye Berkeley? She saw what's in the restricted wing at Blackwell Industries. You always say anyone who gets that close doesn't walk out alive, so what makes her different? I didn't answer at first. I could still see her standing there in that garden, eyes wide, heart racing, but still standing, still speaking. She didn't run. She's not like the others, I said quietly. Marcus scoffed. That's what they all say before they fall. She's smart, sharp, and despite how terrified she was, she still stood her ground. Most people would have fainted, screamed. She didn't even tell anyone. You're sure about that? He asked. Positive, I said. If she had, the news would have leaked, or at least reached Almo in the police, but everything's been quiet. That's how I know I can trust her. Marcus went silent for a bit. Then, so, what do you think? She's just gonna wake up tomorrow and say yes to marrying a man who's part of an underground operation? I don't want just any woman to stand beside me, I replied. My grandfather's dying wish is that I get married if I show up with Faye. A Berkeley heiress? Hell no, I'm serious. She's not after my money. She's not going to beg for shares or access. She has her own power. You could have picked someone easier, he muttered. I smiled faintly. That's the point. Faye isn't easy, and because she saw what she saw and kept it to herself, I know she can handle the dark. I don't need someone who's scared of my will. I need someone who can walk into it and not crumble. Marcus clicked his tongue. So what's the plan now? She turned you down tonight, made it very clear she wants nothing to do with you or your marriage proposal. I stared ahead, jaw tight. I know, and I didn't expect her to say yes right away. She's been through a lot. Gerald wrecked her. He played with her heart and walked away like it meant nothing. She's not the only one he ruined, Marcus said, glancing at me. You sure you're not just projecting? My voice came out like ice. He's the reason my sister's in a coma. He promised her a future, then dumped her when she got pregnant and left her to bleed alone in a hospital bed. She tried to take her own life. That bastard didn't even look back. The image of Haley, pale and lifeless in that hospital bed, flashed in my mind. My chest tightened. This isn't just about revenge, I muttered. It's about justice, and Faye deserves that too. Gerald used her like he used Haley, lied, manipulated, broke her, and yet she's still standing. Marcus sighed. So now what? You gonna wait around, hoping she changes her mind? No, I said. We don't have time for that. My grandfather's health is fading. He wants to see me married before he passes, and I need to make Faye understand that we're on the same side, that we need each other. Marcus gave me a sideways glance. She told you to leave? Said she's not interested. Sounds pretty clear to me, I smirked. Everyone has a price. Everyone has a breaking point. You plan on breaking her? No, I said. But I need her to see that being alone, trying to fight back without any power, is a losing game, and if that means pushing her a little, so be it. Marcus' grip on the wheel tightened. What are you saying? I turned to him slowly. We cripple her company, not destroy, just shake it. Cut off a few investors, delay a few contracts, pull a few strings. Marcus blinked. You want her to come crawling to you? I want her to need me, I said, my voice steady. Right now, she thinks she's free, that she can survive on her own, but when her company starts bleeding and no one wants to help her, you'll be the one standing there with a bandage. You're serious? I've never been more serious, I said. Marcus sighed and rubbed his temples. You're playing a dangerous game, Hunter. I always have. Silence fell between us again. You're not doing this for love, are you? Marcus asked. I didn't answer right away. No, I finally said. Love's not something I have time for, but revenge, that, I said with a slow smile. I have all the time in the world for. Marcus glanced back. So, when do we start the takedown? I looked out at the city lights glowing in the distance. Tonight, I said. We hit the weakest link first. Her newest investor, Alan Green. Pull him out quietly, then we follow up with her logistics team. Delay their shipment. Let her start feeling the cracks, and if she still doesn't come running to you, I smiled coldly. Then we widened the cracks. The car sped up, and I leaned back into the seat. Faye Berkeley didn't want my hand, but when the world started pulling hers apart, she'd have no choice but to take it. She just didn't know it yet. I barely slept. I kept replaying Hunter's words in my head like a broken record. Marry me. By the time sunlight filtered through my curtains, my mind was already racing. Today was the day I would be introduced officially as the CEO of the Berkeley company. I was so exhausted from all the tossing and turning last night. I splashed water on my face as I got ready and dressed up in a smart blazer. My grandparents already went ahead to the company, so I arrived on my own. I stood just behind the frosted glass doors of the Berkeley Corporation boardroom. My palms were clammy, heart pounding like it wanted out of my chest. I could hear murmurs from inside, voices of the men and women who helped build this empire. Ready? Grandma asked, gently placing her hand over mine. I looked into her eyes. I don't know, I whispered. What if they don't want me? They don't have to, she said with a soft smile. You're not here to be liked, you're here to lead. I let out a shaky breath. Grandpa stepped beside her. You can do it, we trust you. I gave them both a small nod, then pushed open the doors. The room fell silent. 30 faces turned to me. Shareholders, executives, legacy partners. I felt every gaze like a spotlight, but I didn't flinch. Grandpa stepped forward. Everyone, may I have your attention? His voice cut across the room with ease, authority built into every word. As of today, Faye Berkeley will take her rightful place as the chief executive officer of Berkeley Corporation. Someone coughed. A few whispers broke out. I know she's young, Grandma added, walking up to the podium beside Grandpa, and I know many of you were expecting someone more traditional, but times have changed. This company needs boldness, innovation, and integrity, and we see all three in our granddaughter. I took one step forward, then another. I reached the head of the table and stood there, facing them. I didn't come here to make empty promises, I said, keeping my voice steady. I came here to fight for this company, for its future, for every single employee depending on us. I don't have decades of experience, but I have something else. Clarity. More silence, then a few nods, a slow clap from one of the senior board members, and then applause, real applause. I swallowed hard. This was it. I was in by mid-morning. I was already knee-deep in meetings, decisions, and calls. Miss Berkeley, Anna, my new assistant, whispered, rushing into my office with an urgent look. Alan Green just pulled out of the energy deal. I froze. What? Why? He said, strategic redirection. Send it through his lawyers. I shook my head. That doesn't make sense. He practically begged us for that project. That's not all, she added. Berlin shipments being held in customs, and Michael Lin just sold off his shares. What? She looked down. He filed it less than an hour after your announcement. As CEO, it hit me like a punch. This wasn't just business, this was targeted. You think this is Hunter? I whispered. Anna lowered her head as she bit her lips, probably because she didn't know what I was talking about. But why would Hunter do something like this, and why would it be the same day that I've been introduced as the CEO? My grandmother's message popped up on my phone. Faye, darling, we're coming back to the company. Someone just informed us of what is going on. Hang tight. I sighed. They're supposed to be retiring, and yet on my first day, chaos was already being unleashed. I picked up my phone and dialed Hunter's number. He answered immediately. Faye, I swear, if you're behind this, I told you I wouldn't force you, Hunter said calmly, but I also said the wolves would come. I just stepped out of the way. You think you'll crawl back to you for help? I snapped. No, I think you'll walk with your head held high because you realize I'm the only one who won't abandon you. I clenched my jaw. Your ego is disgusting, and your pride, he replied smoothly, is expensive. I hung up. I turned to Anna. Get me the board. I want a closed door meeting in 1 hour. Yes, ma'am.